How is Dr. Gerald Robotnik still alive? A few weeks ago, we got the official trailer for the third movie in the Sonic franchise. In that trailer, several interesting details were revealed. Like, for example, that we will be seeing Shadow's dark past. Not only this, but we were shown how Shadow will be such a big threat that it will lead Sonic Team to make an alliance with Doctor Ivo Robotnik, also known as Doctor Eggman, who is not in the best condition since the last time we saw him. In fact, it got to the point where his physical appearance is a completely different one from what we had seen before. But that partly makes many of us happy, as he is getting closer to the classic look we have always seen in video games. But out of all the details we have seen, the one that has left us thinking the most is that Doctor Gerald Robotnik, Shadow's creator and grandfather of Doctor Ivo Robotnik, is still alive. How is this possible? Why did they change this detail that is so important for the story of Shadow's character? In this video, we will be discussing all these details. And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Welcome to the Oasis Geek. Dr. Gerald Robotnik is a key and important figure in the original Sonic story, especially Shadow the Hedgehog and the Ark Space Colony. His actions and motivations are central to the creation of Shadow and the subsequent events of the series. But what exactly did Dr. Gerald Robotnik do that makes him so important? Let's explain in detail everything that happened with this character to understand why making this change is one that will possibly change everything. Let's begin by explaining that Dr. Gerald Robotnik was a brilliant scientist, considered one of the most brilliant minds in the history of mankind. He was highly respected for his revolutionary research and inventions, which spanned diverse fields such as genetics, robotics, and space exploration. His ultimate goal was to improve humanity and explore the mysteries of life. However, his motivations became deeply personal thanks to his granddaughter, Maria Robotnik, who suffered from a terminal disease known as NIDS, neuroimmunodeficiency syndrome. Driven by his love for Maria and his desire to save her, Gerald's work became more urgent and desperate, as he wanted to do everything possible to save her as soon as possible. Despite the scientific marvels achieved at the Ark, the project came under the control of the government, specifically the GUN, Guardian Units of the Nations. The military was increasingly concerned about the potential threat posed by the ultimate life form and the dangerous knowledge Gerald was accumulating. Fearing what they could not control, the GUN ordered the closure of the Ark and the termination of Project Shadow. GUN launched a military raid on the Ark that ended in a violent crackdown. In the midst of the chaos, Maria tried to help Shadow escape, hoping that he could fulfill his dream of seeing humanity live in peace. In her final moments, a soldier shot her, while sending Shadow to Earth in an escape pod, sealing his tragic fate. Maria's death shattered Gerald. Overwhelmed by grief, rage, and a sense of betrayal by the very people he was trying to help, Gerald's mind twisted under the weight of his loss. In his final days, Gerald was arrested and taken to Earth, where he was imprisoned by the government. With his mental state deteriorated, Gerald reprogrammed Shadow with new instructions, a plan for revenge against humanity, whom he blames for being responsible for Maria's death. During his captivity, Gerald devised a final catastrophic plan to punish humanity for Maria's death. He secretly programmed the Ark's Eclipse Cannon, a powerful weapon originally designed for space defense, to destroy Earth by colliding the Ark with the planet. She left encrypted messages that could be activated if Shadow and the Chaos Emeralds rejoined the Ark, setting the plan in motion. To ensure his revenge, Gerald also created a video diary in which he expressed his disillusionment with humanity and explained the circumstances that led to Mary's death. This diary served as a chilling reminder of his broken spirit and desire for revenge. After putting his plan into action, Gerald was executed by the government. His actions and the devastating consequences of Project Shadow were covered up, buried in classified files, and forgotten by most of the world. However, Gerald's legacy lived on through Shadow, the Ark, and the dangerous secrets he left behind. at least until 50 years later when Doctor Ivo Robotnik, or Doctor Eggman, discovers the Eclipse Cannon and attempts to use it for world domination. He inadvertently activates Gerald's doomsday program, setting the Ark on a collision course with Earth. Shadow, who at first followed Gerald's programming, ends up confronting his true purpose. When confronted with Maria's final message, a plea for Shadow to protect the world, Shadow is reminded of his true desire for peace, not revenge. With Sonic's help, Shadow uses his powers to stop the Ark, sacrificing himself in the process. This act redeems both Shadow and Gerald's legacy, as Shadow fulfills Maria's true wish, finally breaking the cycle of tragedy set in motion by Gerald's desperation. So if in the original lore Dr. Gerald Robotnik is executed and is not present when his grandson discovers the Shadow Project, how is it possible that in this film he is alive? There are several theories that come to mind when I think about this question. The first is that what we are seeing is not Gerald Robotnik, but some sort of android or advanced robot of himself, but that it is so realistic that he doesn't know what it really is, leading him to believe that it is the real Gerald Robotnik. Another possibility is that in this version, Gerald has never been executed, and that he had been kept in secret as they did with the Shadow Project. Perhaps he was left in a frozen state similar to the one Shadow was in. And when Shadow was activated, Gerald was also released without them realizing it. Finally, we have a possibility that Gerald was saved from being executed thanks to one of his inventions, and that he decided to hide from everyone, including his family, until the Shadow Project was activated, and he decided to resurface to continue with his plan, this time with his grandson who decided to follow in Gerald's footsteps. However this return happens, one thing I am sure we will get from this character is that Dr. Gerald Robotnik will return with the same ambition we saw last time, with a thirst for revenge against humanity for the loss of his granddaughter, and will even resort to having his grandson work hand in hand with him to complete his goal. Who knows, maybe Ivo will help his grandfather until he realizes it's not the right thing to do, somehow having a role reversal, since in the original lore, it's Shadow who undergoes this transformation. But tell me, what do you think about all this? How do you think Dr. Gerald Robotnik survived? Would you like to see some of these theories come true? And for more videos of your favorite series and movies, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. You are on the Oasis Geek.